I'm having myself some coffee. Yes, it's later in the day, I know. Mark just got up though, so I'm helping myself to some coffee. All right, so what's on tap for today? Well, we're going to talk about some gardening stuff, guys. I was given some garlic by a friend at work, so we're fixing to plant it. I know it's a little late for that, but we're going to plant it anyway, okay? And we are going to check out the chickens, the turkeys, the guineas, and the rabbits again. And we're just going to get into what we can get into out here. So, y'all bear with me while I turn the camera around. Ouch. Alright, so a lot of people they've not gardened before. They don't know where to start. Well, you know what? All you need is a hole in the ground, dirt, water, nutrients. That's all there is to it, and light. I did a video on this last year. We'll link seed start and all that. Somehow, maybe. We'll see. But all you need is something to plant in, a way to give it water, and a way to give it light. So right now I have these tubs that we had peppers planted in last year, and I haven't cleaned them up yet. It's okay. The chickens are going to love it. The turkeys are going to love it. And I may get some tomato sprouts out of this one, because I think there was a tomato beside it, or that's the bell pepper one. I don't know. We'll see. But all I'm doing right now is taking this stuff out of the bed. And then, as you will see, we have a place ready to garden. All right, now then, this is what I'm going to plant some of my garlic in real quick. I have not planted garlic in a raised bed before. We're about to find out how it does. And by raised bed, I mean container. I haven't planted it in a container. So I'm still earlier in the year than I did last year. So this should do well. I'm just pulling out some of the leaves and the acorns and all that stuff. In general, cleaning up my bed. Should have already had this done, guys. I'm sorry. We have had so much stuff going on, and you know, in wintertime is when I change gears into other modes. So my focus has not been anything gardening. And as you can see, I'm just loosening up the soil here. Okay. Now, containers. What do I need to know about containers? Well, first of all, we need drainage. Let me look and see where we drilled the holes in this. Here's a hole right there. So there's going to be another one around the side somewhere where we drilled holes for drainage. Because if your water doesn't have a chance to drain out, all it does is build up the water in the container, and that leads to root rot. Okay? So let me get my garlic, and I'll be right back. Hey, Major Tom. Y'all, he's showing off for you today. See them 2 guineas? 3 guineas? That's 3 of his ladies. The 4th one's over there. Those are his ladies. I haven't figured out if he thinks he's a guinea or if they think they're a turkey. But they're like inseparable. Where one is, the rest of them are. And if they get separated where one jumps outside the fence, they have a fit until they get back in. It's wild. Alright, so this is some of the garlic I was given by the co-worker. And I'm just going to break this down into the individual cloves. And we're going to just stick this in the ground, okay? So I'm just going to pull all this apart, and we'll be right back. So that didn't break down into a lot of sections that way, but do you see this section? There are more sections in there. So we're just gonna peel a little bit more and get all this broke down into as many cloves as we can get. Here, this one's already starting to grow. See the little green tip? Isn't that awesome? This one too. So you can feel where the divisions are that you need to pull apart at. Don't try to split this clove in half. Only split where they're naturally divided at. Okay, last one. There we go. All right, so we got a good many pieces over there. So let's go ahead and get them planted. How do we plant them? How do we plant them? Well, we take this end, which is where the root was, and we bury it in the soil. We just bury it in the soil. Right there to where the top of it is at the top of the soil. Now this is how I do it. Is this the proper way to do it? Well, I assume it is, but it works for me. So that's how we're going to do this. Do I need to pull all the peeling off? No, you don't. But you do need to get the tip buried right underneath the edge of the soil. And I may have more than I need for this barrel. So I'm going to move all of this to over here because I want enough room for these to grow and expand into the size that other one was. So we're just going to cover this up, and there it goes. Almost a clove of garlic, a head of garlic planted. I went ahead and got this one ready. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing with it. Let me pick these out, and we're going to go ahead and plant these in here as well. And guys, we will update y'all later on how these do. Okay, but first things first, I'm going to even out the soil. There we go. I'm going to have some ants in this one, so I'm going to have to put some ant treatment in here somehow, which means I got to find organic ant treatment. You do want these standing up though, guys. Don't have it in there laying down. Okay, another barrel planted. So that's how fast it is. That's how easy it is. The hardest part is breaking apart the cloves. All right, guys, let's move on to something else. All right, so this is my Camellia sinensis. This will be my tea tree eventually. You can see where it bloomed. It didn't really produce seeds because I don't have a second one, but I can take cuttings of this one and make another one, and that's how I'll propagate this if I don't find another one locally. Our Elderberry has died back for the winter, and I still have them all in cages. That way we can keep them nice and neat versus laying over and just growing totally wild. Yep. And how did my comfrey do? Well, my comfrey died back. I have a little bit. That 9 degrees bit it. But as you can see, there are places where it's coming back. So even 9-degree weather didn't kill it totally. And I'm betting that the root in where the other pieces are is going to grow back as well. So how's the roses doing that I bought on clearance last year? Look here. They're starting to come out too. These two might have gotten bit. They may not come back, but the other two are looking good. So, and we will have to wait and see on the different mints to see if they come back also. Everything is just in a place to where it can overwinter, do its hibernation, do its dormancy, and then come back to life come spring. These two are muscadines. Sorry, these two here are muscadines, and they're coming back as well for next year. All right, this is a raised bed that I was given. They took one of those 55-gallon drums, cut it in half, and made a planter out of it for me. Built a frame for it and everything. Now this is really only about knee high. So in this corner we have a parsley. So the parsley is biennial, but I think that 9 degrees killed that root. So it may come back, it may not. But I'm going to take and plant around that in case it does come back. I'm going to plant some lettuce mixture in here, and all I'm going to do is take my fingers. Let me pull these out here. Take my fingers, loosen this up. Pull that out, of course. Just take my fingers, loosen up the soil like this. And then I'll get my seed pack and I will sprinkle it around on top of here. And then we will mash it down to where it makes good contact with the soil. And we will make sure it gets watered, and that should be all that it should do. And y'all can follow up on it later with us as well. Hey, Mr. Langston, sister. Be sweet to that kitty. These two became best buds. Sister thinks she's gonna get up there and get some cat food. It's what all the buckets are there for. But her and Langston are buddies. All right, guys. Talk to y'all later. Meow. Hey, boss lady. And tell everybody about it. Is that what we're telling everything? What we doing today? We napping? Hey, I like napping. I'll let you get back to it. All right, so fire pit. We got half of it done. There's just too much to do around a homestead, guys. But we have these posts anchored up now, and we'll put the other posts on top across the middles, and then we'll get these swings hung, and we will be enjoying this fire pit on the first Saturday. As long as it's not the 1st of February, it's the first Saturday in February. So fire starts at dark. If y'all are around, y'all come join us. This way, sister. This way, sister. And she's going the other way. Works for me. So, like I said, this is where we had the cats' food for our outdoor kitties. Hey, Langston, I'm not bothering y'all. And we have the food bag up in this yellow cat litter bucket. We just pour it in here. And then all these buckets here is to block sister. So we have Langston a bowl, and we have Mushy a bowl, and that's just in case they don't like to share. And like I said, we have the bag just poured in here. So they have plenty of warm places to go. If nothing else, there is the whole thing of hay under here. Let me block sister again. This is what's left of our hay that we gathered at the start of the year. And as you can see, they got plenty of holes that they have created up in there. And that's where they go to get warm, or they can go inside the shop there, or inside the greenhouse. And they do all that. They have done all that. So let's go in here and let's talk about feeders real quick. So we've got a couple new feeders. Now we just bought these at our local Tractor Supply actually. And they're not the type that I normally like, so we're going to give this a shot and see if they work. Doing things one-handed is not always fun. We also bought some new zip ties. So let's go in here and try to put up some feeders. Chickens love to jump the fence. Sit. Chickens love to get in here and scratch up all the poop when I rake it up and all that good stuff. So, all right, so they are ready to be fed. I mean, they're like right here going, feed me, feed me, feed me. So, another week and these guys leave. That will make me happy. I have 4 litters that will be leaving, going to a 4-H program. And, hey, Miss Hershey, how are you? So let's talk about the feeders real quick. Now, most of my feeders are this style, I think. No, that's not it. And that one's busted. But you know what? It is. Okay, so let me show you. This feeder comes down, it's sifted, all the dust goes through. There's no lip right here, though, to keep them from raking this out. But it's also not a lip they can grab either. Now, this one kind of came designed with that lip that they can't just grab it and make everything come outside of the feeder. Problem, though, is all of mine are wearing out. Yep, the feed's falling through. Either that or they're so old. Let me show you this one. Oh, I know you're not getting a very good camera shot at the moment. Okay, or they're like this one, where the whole front has rusted off. So yeah, we are at the point of having to replace a bunch of feeders on the farm. Now this one, I think it may be repairable. This one is now garbage. So this one will be going in the garbage. We're going to have a big rabbit barn cleanup day now that it's getting back into the weather we prefer here at the South. But this new feeder, I've got 2 of them, and we're going to clip them into the cages. Now, one of the things that I do like about this feeder is this. So this helps hold it up tight against the wall of the cage, because I have a couple, like this one right here, that they like to pull it down. So I have had to create, using an old coat hanger, a hook to pull the top tight against this cage. And let me tell you, he knows how to get it moved. So yeah, so having this on here will help prevent that. Okay, now this is designed to either go into a hole in the cage, or you can hook it from inside the cage with this hook as well. So that's how I have done this. Okay, it's inside the cage because I don't have any holes. So, but that one, as you can see, is another one. Hey, bunny. that I had to make a hook to hold it up against the cage wall, okay? Hey, Bunny, how are you today? All right, so let's put this in, and we're gonna take out a bowl. I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take this here. I love this cage. So I don't like doors that open in, but this one has a thing to hang the door from. Most of my doors that open in, the bunnies don't like it. It's like they get spooked with it. So yeah, I have to be very careful when I do the open door cages to find a rabbit that actually will be okay with it. Okay, so now I have to leave space for the door to come down on this one, but I also have the water line here. So I'm going to put this, I'm not going to put this here. I'm going to put this on this wall. So, let's see, will that go through there? It will, but I'll have to make it work. Okay, so this is not going to be a good one to show you. Neither is this one. Neither is this one. None of these are going to be good ones to show you with. So, like I was saying, basically, I just put this up against the wall. I thread this through the cage around this here, and then I bend these up around the top. That way, it makes the cage, it latches everything to the cage, okay? So let me go ahead and get this installed, and I'll show it to you when it's finished. All right, this is our new feeder. As you can see, I kind of took a couple of J-clamps. I'll show you what a J-clamp is in a minute. And I put one here. This one missed. It's not attached to nothing. But this one is now attached to here. And on the other side where that green zip tie is as well, is another clamp, because these bunnies will eat that zip tie, so I'll have to cut the zip tie to where the J-clamp is what's actually holding that. And then we'll fill here. It'll sift through the bottom. Hopefully she will not break all this out, but if she does, then I will move this to another cage, and we'll go from there. Right now she has this. She has not bothered dumping this or anything, so we will be changing this to that for her, and we will just see what happens. All right. As you can see, we have a lot of feed wasters, and there is one that I was talking about before that has the channel. It keeps them from raking it out as bad. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's yet another feeder that I'm about to have to replace because of the rust and everything, okay? So, there we go. Now, I don't think she will be wasting much feed, but this is Delilah. She's one of our old girls, and she is, I think she's one of the few left that have a little bit of Flemish in her. She's got some Flemish, some New Zealand, and who knows what in her. So she is one of our main meat bunnies, and we mix her with a Rex mix, and she is the mom of some of these babies here. No, this is Hershey's. So she's the mom of the babies on the other side. These belong to Hershey, who is right here. This is Hershey. Hey, Miss Hershey. So Hershey is a Rex mix. I think she's New Zealand mix also. I can't remember who Hershey's mom is. Oh, Harley Q, I think. Harley Q is this one. And Harley Q came from Harley, who is one of our males, and I think Rexy, who is no longer in our barn. So Rexy was a Rex New Zealand mix, and Harley Q was supposed to be a New Zealand, but I think he's New Zealand and Rex mix also. So this is Hershey, and this is Harley Q, because she's Harlequin colored. Isn't that cool? All right, so new feeder installed. Let's get to the cleanup. All right, this would be a good time to talk about how much feed do I feed my rabbit, and what do I feed my rabbit? Well, let me show you what we got. Now, this is not to say this is the best feed out there. This is what we feed, and we have good luck with it. We get this at our local feed store, and it surprised me because it's GMO free, and it's actually not a bad feed. Now, like I said, this is not necessarily the best feed out here, but let's see if it tells me on here. Hold on, guys. This is actually made in Guntersville, Alabama. So it's on the back of the bag. Okay, hold on. I'll find it eventually. All right, here we go. So this is a 16% protein. Okay, we have 3% fat, all that good stuff. Like I said, this is not necessarily the best feed out there. But first ingredient is alfalfa meal, and then it goes on down there. Is it corn-free? I'm not going to guarantee it's corn-free, but I don't see corn in the first few ingredients. So that's a good sign. Plus the fact, again, GMO-free, okay? So that is one of the things that I did like about this. And it's put out by Tucker Milling. So this is what we feed. Now, this is a 50-pound bag, but we also have all of those rabbits. So let me show you what it looks like. Let me turn on my flash. Oh, well, it's not going to show you. So let me pull this out of the barn. This is what our feed looks like. As you can see, this is a feed. It's not full of treats. This is balanced nutrition for your rabbit's needs, okay? It is in pellets. These are small mini pellets, sort of. They're skinny pellets. My rabbits seem to like the little pellets like this better than they do the bigger pellets. If I was to feed a feed that had all the treats and everything mixed in, they would probably pick out all the treats and leave the feed behind. That's also why it's recommended that they eat their feed and not live off of treats, because they end up eating all the treats and not getting the balanced diet that they need. Okay, now how much feed do we feed? Well, we put this in the cages, and I'll be honest, this is probably way too much feed, but this is supposed to be like an 8-ounce cup, maybe a 10-ounce cup. So you feed 1 ounce of feed per pound of body weight. Now, different sources say different things, but this is what we feed, and it seems to work. So I put this in the cages, and I put this much per bunny. Now, if I have a mom that's nursing, I fill the feeders up, and I just kind of watch until the babies start eating. And when the babies start eating, I start adding the cup per baby. They won't eat all of that to start with, but they will. So we go ahead and free feed mama and free feed the grow outs, because we want them to eat the feed. But if they're wasting feed, then that's a big problem, which is why I'm going through and changing out some of the feeders. So let me show you. This cage here, the bunnies would shake the feeders, and all the feed ends up on the ground. It's not her fault. It's the ones that was in here before. But I have not cleaned this out. I just pulled her off of her litter, and so she's getting the blame for it in the video, but she's really not the problem. It was the babies in here. So yeah, each bunny we give this cup. I actually fill it up, and this is how much food they get. Now, what type of cup is this? Well, this is one of them promotional cups that they give out for like banks and things like that. And like I said, I think it's just like an 8-ounce cup or something like that. It may be 10 or 12. I'm really not sure. But as you can see, it's not very big. So it's not like it's a 16-ounce solo cup. It's a little smaller than that. But it's 1 ounce of food per pound of body weight. Now, even my Americans get this much. And they do fine with it. My Americans get to be 12 pounds, and they do fine. I know how much each bunny out here eats, and I know which ones are going to eat everything I give them. So we don't free feed except mamas and babies, okay? So ounce of feed per ounce of grown body weight. That's what I go by, okay? All right, let's get this feeding done, and let's get all the chores done for the day. Hey, Major Tom. All right, guys, if you like what we're doing, y'all make sure you give us a like, leave us some comments, let us know what you think. We love to answer comments. We love to teach and all that, so give us something to talk about, guys. All right, make sure you share. That gets new eyes on our videos. That helps us out the most. As always, subscribe and hit that notification bell. We'll be putting out homestead videos on Mondays. We'll be going live on Wednesdays at 6. And Mark's Fireside Chats will be on Fridays. So usually I try to have those up by noon, but we try to get those out on Friday regardless. So if it's not up by noon, just be watching for it. Hey, and if you subscribe, it'll let you know when that video comes out. All right, guys. Major Tom says bye. So does his lady. Oh, there's more of the ladies over there. So all these ladies say bye too, and we will catch y'all in the next video. Bye, guys.